Giovanni, Scelzi, and Kyle Larson from the front row. Tyler, Courtney, and David Gravel in row 2. Donny, Schatz, Brad Sweet in row 3. Row 4 is James McFadden and Logan Schuchart. Row 5, Justin Peck and Sheldon Haudenschild.
David Gravel ironing in that high side there.
Getting her ready.
Getting ready.
Getting her primed.
Taking a look at her.
Lights go out. Green flag. Next time by for the Joker's Jackpot at Eldora Speedway. Aaron Reutzel and Carson Macedo in the 6th row. Then it's Anthony Macri and Spencer Bayston. Caleb Henry and Michael Buddy Kofoid. Parker Price Miller and Brent Marks. Cy Lynch, Rico Abreu. Jacob Allen, Garrett Williamson, Corey Eliason, Kerry Madsen. Eldora Speedway, we got them racked, we got them stacked, and we've got the grandstands packed. Let's go racing off at turn number 4. We are green.
Joker's Jackpot underway. Giovanni Scelzi leads the field into turn number 2. Kyle Larson right there. Scelzi will command the field down the backstretch.
Tyler Courtney quickly into the 3rd spot. David Gravel runs in 4th. The battle is on for 5th between Donny, Schatz, and Brad Sweet. Give that spot to Schatz across the start-finish line. 1 lap down, 39 to go.
Scelzi leads lap 1 and gets right to the high side and now starts to pull away. Good battle for the 5th spot. Donny, Schatz, and Brad Sweet. Sweet into the 5th spot as he goes down to the bottom and slams the door closed. Larson right there all over Scelzi for the lead.
Scelzi works the top in turns 3 and 4, and Larson was down low. They'll do the same exact thing down there in 1 and 2, and Tyler Courtney's trying to get in the mix as well for the battle up at the front of the field. Gio Scelzi comes by off of turn number 4 this time by, puts 3 laps in, 37 to go for the driver to Fresno, California.
Gio Scelzi trying to capture his first 6-figure payday of his sprint car career, trying to pull away from Kyle Larson. Larson has company closing in on him because here comes Tyler Courtney up around the rims of Eldora Speedway. Battle for second at the start finish.
Tyler Courtney to the inside of Kyle Larson. Remember last night these two nearly got together in the feature event. It was Larson with a short slider on Courtney. Will he return the favor? He looks for the slider in turns 3 and 4. Tyler Courtney up across the racetrack, takes the 2nd spot off of turn 4.
Sunshine shoots past Young Money, boom him up a spot on the leaderboard. David Gravel still 4th, and right now Brad Sweet 5th. Here comes Kyle Larson back to the back, tail take of the 7BC and Tyler Courtney. Meanwhile, lap traffic just in front of your leader.
David Gravel's got the bottom of the racetrack rolling as well. He is catching up to the 2nd and 3rd place cars of Tyler Courtney, Kyle Larson. Keep an eye on the Houston Speedway number 2 car as he tries to enter the picture for that race for 2nd. Meanwhile, your race leader, Gio Scelzi, immediately clipped the wall in turn 3 right there. He's got lap traffic on the same straightaway as him.
1.382 seconds last time, now down to 1.06. Tyler Courtney closing on Gio Scelzi. As Scelzi can see the back of the pack, just half a straightaway in front of him. He's about a lap or 2 away from him off of turn number 4. Gio Scelzi's right there on lap traffic, and Tyler Courtney continuing to slice into that lead.
David Gravel now up to challenge Kyle Larson for the 3rd spot. They work into turns 1 and 2. Larson on the top, David Gravel on the bottom. David's been very good on this side of the racetrack. Larson must have saw him the last time. He now goes to the bottom and tries to get the Silver Motorsports 57 working that way. Looks like he caught up a little bit right there to Sunshine down the front straightaway.
Gio Scelzi's got lap cars on the bottom and on the high side right in front of him. He's going to have to find something here, find some breathing room and get by. Kerry Madsen and gang. Madsen leaves the high side wide open. Can Scelzi walk through? No. Madsen gets the door closed. Scelzi goes down to the inside, trying to put him a lap down. Oh, Kerry Madsen into the wall.
Somehow able to keep going.
I can't believe he didn't get upside down there the way he hit the wall. Did a complete 360. Was able to keep rolling. Incredible stuff out of Kerry Madsen there. Nose wing with heavy damage. You can see it on the big screen and on Flow Racing.
How that car not only did not flip, but kept running. Went the right direction and just kept on driving. Very James Bond-esque right there by Kerry Madsen.
007.
Yes, Daniel Craig would be proud.
Yes, he would be. Here's a Flow Racing replay. Kerry up on the high side. You see Gio right there. Gio's trying to make a move and throws the slider. And I think that just the air kind of moving here around there. And
Kerry probably wasn't expecting that.
No.
At all.
But I mean, Giovanni didn't really have many options there.
He's leading the race. He's got to make an aggressive maneuver to get by, and Kerry's now in the work area. You can see the damage.
There's Doug Rankin, the crew chief at the right rear.
I mean, it really doesn't look that bad for what happened.
Looked worse.
Yeah, so there's giving maybe a little look over. Yeah. Tony's on his way down there to tell us more. Well, it looks like they're backing the car up now.
That surprises me.
So I think their trailer is down there, so maybe they're just going to take it right back to the trailer. So Kerry Madsen's night is going to come to an end. as they've got the Frozen Farmer pick pint out on the racetrack. Drivers need to go inside or outside of that pick pint, and wherever they go, that will be where they restart the race, either on the bottom or on the top. Scelzi chooses the bottom for this upcoming restart.
If he'll try to slide himself on the restart, maybe.
Yeah, that's interesting because he's really hasn't left the top the whole race. Tyler Courtney up into second. High Limit versus the Outlaws up on the front row for this restart.
It's interesting, David Gravel once again searching the high side and really working the fence when he hasn't really left the bottom.
He's been on the bottom very, very good. Yeah, showed Larson the bottom there, and he went down there to try. Yeah.
Craftsmanship out of David Gravel.
Absolutely. Racecraft for sure.
Yes.
So just short. Oh, Courtney with a flat right rear.
Oh, my.
Tyler Courtney has a flat right rear tire.
Yep.
Tyler Courtney running in the second spot. A flat right rear on the Clausen Marshall Racing 7BC, and he knows it, and he's headed to the Rod End Supply work area. And wow, what an absolute heartbreaker right there.
Yeah.
For Tyler Courtney.
Jake Argo and gang going to go to work on the Clausen Marshall Racing 7BC here, and TLP, wow.
Yeah, Courtney knew it, you guys, and he gassed it up down the back straightaway, wanting to get to the Rod End Supply work area as quick as he could. He came, let's call it scooting down the pit lane here to the attention of, we've got David Gravel's crew, some of the Roth Motorsports guys, Casey Kane Racing from Brad Sweet's 49er here. They're going to jack up the back end of that 7BC for Clausen Marshall Racing. They're going to rip off the right rear. They have a new one ready to go.
Take a look at it when it comes off, Tony, and see if you can find any cuts on it or anything. I'd be interested to know, maybe got into the fence a little bit, running the high side. That could knock it down a little bit there.
There's no noticeable damage, scrapes or scuffs to the outside of that rim on the right rear wheel. And as we try to give these guys as much room and space as possible, I'm not noticing any kind of cuts or abrasions to the tire.
Doesn't look like it's going down very fast, so maybe just a pinhole in it. Oh, I saw something
right there, yeah.
Yeah, on the bottom of the screen. Yep, there we go.
They just spotted it as well. And so Tyler Courtney going to have to come from the back. It's going to be Gio Scelzi with the lead. Kyle Larson now promoted to second.
So I'm going to wonder.
Gravel to third.
Now we got him back single file. So here's, I was just say, do you let everyone repick where they're going?
Yeah. Got to do the pick pint once again, and Scelzi is going to double down on his choosing of the bottom side.
The double pick pint, rarely seen.
That first time we've seen it, I think, actually. So Scelzi, then Larson, then Gravel, Sweet, and Schatz, the top five for the restart. Must have been some games being played because Schatz is going to restart outside the third row. Then it's Schuchart, McFadden, Haudenschild, Macri, and Peck, top 10 for the restart.
Well, this will be a show watching Sunshine try to navigate traffic at the back of the pack. 10 in the books, 30 to go, so still plenty of time. But
yep, quarter of the way.
Here we go, back under green.
Scelzi on the gas early off of turn number 4, trying to put some distance between himself and Kyle Larson. Great restart for Brad Sweet. He gets his way by the number 2 of David Gravel. Now Kyle Larson to the inside, looking for the race lead at the Joker's Jackpot in turn 3.
Scelzi's right there. He'll cut underneath him. Gio Scelzi will lead the lap, but Kyle Larson's right there. Scelzi will slide himself into turn number 1 and greet the cushion off for turn number 2 and now pull away. David Gravel into the third spot as he got around Brad Sweet.
And Logan Schuchart into the top 5, made his way by Donny Schatz there on this restart. So the $1 Million Man making his way forward. Meanwhile, Gio Scelzi continues to show the way by just a 3-car length advantage over the 57 of Larson. Larson may have hopped over what little cushion he could right there and lost some ground off of turn 2.
Brad Sweet works the fence as the guys right in front of him work the bottom and slide up off the bottom of the racetrack. Here comes Brad Sweet back at David Gravel in the 2-car. Battle for third. David
Gravel around the inside. We've seen him almost there the entire race exclusively. Now Brad Sweet with a huge run down the backstretch, pulls even with the number 2 car as they work back into turns 3 and 4. Brad Sweet looking for the bottom step of the podium. Kyle Larson that time by off of turn number 4 ran the bottom and might be testing the waters out down there. Meanwhile, Brad Sweet has made the pass on David Gravel for third.
Scelzi added to his lead there, but only a 1/10 of a second. So Larson keeping him well within striking distance as we close on halfway with 15 down and 25 to go. Scelzi adding to the lead, but Chase, he can start to see the back of the pack.
And Scelzi still running some of the best laps out of anybody inside the top 5 right now as Schuchart is catching up to David Gravel. Gravel goes to the bottom in turn 3. Schuchart was going to try and go down there, has to slide to the cushion. That's going to lose some ground to the Big Game Motorsports number 2 down the front straightaway.
James McFadden closes on him in turn, and now
Buddy Kofoid
off the pace, and the yellow flies at lap 16.
See what the problem is for him. Looks like his right rear is still inflated. Hard to tell from...
Doesn't look like the left rear is down either by the way it's sitting. Sounds like maybe some contact out on the racetrack for the Roth Enterprises 83.
Just short of halfway.
Leading candidate for Rookie of the Year with the Outlaws this year. Having a solid rookie season.
Yeah, he had a really good streak of podium runs earlier this year.
He's been very impressive. He's one of those guys that we've heard about for a long time, and he's done a nice job. He's won everywhere he's gone.
Another product of the West Coast in California. Grew up racing sprint cars when he was 13, 14 years old, 12 maybe.
Early teens, and didn't he win a 410 race at 14?
Yeah, it was. He was pretty good right off the bat, and we are going to go downstairs now to Tony and see what's wrong with him.
Brent Ventura and gang.
Yeah, Brent Ventura came running down from the turn one side of the track. It's not a rear tire, at least not what these guys can see. They're going to go to the front end of the engine block. Blown up. Woodman just gave it to us. Ran his hand across his throat. It's a stuck engine on the 83.
Wow. Not good for Buddy Kofoid. Was running
tough.
in the 13th position at the time of that incident.
So
Rico
another tough
Abreu.
Restart here for Gio Scelzi.
Rico's up 9 spots to 11th. Tony?
Yeah, guys, I just wanted to call out. They're putting down a small trail of Speedy Dry, so he was obviously dragging oil as he came in down here. So I didn't see the issue, but it sounds like just a sudden loss of power on the 83 for Buddy Kofoid, and he's come in with a blown engine.
Sounds like maybe a little bit of contact with Anthony Macri there.
Frozen Farmer Pick
Things
Pint
went
back on
south
track.
for Kofoid.
Yep. Pick Pint back out. Looks like no games being played. There's one right there. Schuchart going to stay on the top there, Tony.
I'll tell you guys, I don't know what you are hearing and seeing up there in the booth high above the front straightaway, but all the crews have come back to their mules, and they're getting fuel cans out. I have a feeling Mike Hess is about to throw a red flag here, perhaps to let these guys put fuel in.
If there's one more yellow, I could see it. Yep.
Yeah, I can't imagine he'd throw it now with just doing the Pick Pint there.
Yep, coming back to the green with still quite a ways to go in this one.
Gio maybe was just getting to the back of the pack for lap traffic, so now back out in clean air pending the restart. These have been wild.
They certainly have, and they're one of my favorite restarts to watch, the ones here at Eldora Speedway. Green flag comes back in the air. It's a good restart for Gio Scelzi. Here comes the number 83 of James McFadden. 3 wide for that 4th position. McFadden going to try and roll the bottom. Makes his way by Logan Short. Now looking at David Gravel for 4th down the backstretch.
Larson goes to the bottom. Scelzi keeps it glued to the fence. Nearly side by side for the lead off of turn number 4. Scelzi has the advantage. 4 wide for 5th off of turn 4, though.
Justin Peck, Johnny Schatz, Logan Short, and James McFadden were 4 wide off the 4th corner right there. And now McFadden, the Durst dice roll driver, trying to get up there and fight with David Gravel for the 4th position off of turn 4.
He's into 5th, looking for 4th as Donny Schatz picks up a spot. Here comes Logan Short side by side with Schatz back in the pack. But James McFadden right on the fence. Gravel trying to close on the big cat. Brad Sweet down the backstretch.
Rico Abreu has entered the top 10, and car number 24 started 10th on the field and is now into the top 10. Keep an eye on the number 24 cars. They work down the front straightaway. Meanwhile, Gio Scelzi last time by nearly a 2nd advantage over the 57 of Kyle Larson. Brad Sweet running in 3rd. David Gravel 4th, and 5th right now is James McFadden.
Halfway home, 20 down and 20 to go. Can Giovanni Scelzi hang on to the biggest win of his career? He's going to earn it, though. He's halfway home. Battle for 3rd stays good, though. David Gravel and Brad Sweet continue to wage war for 3rd.
Yeah, these guys really been going at it. The points leader for the World of Outlaws, NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series. The points leader for the Kubota Highlander Racing Sprint Cars as well. Brad Sweet and David Gravel side by side into turn number 1. Can Sweet make his way around the outside of Gravel off of turn number 2? The answer is no, but he's still going to fight with the Big Game Motorsports number 2, and they're not too far behind the 57 of Kyle Larson.
18 to go, and right now Scelzi's lead sits at 2 seconds over Kyle Larson. Kyle Larson has a little bit of company right behind him. Gravel and Sweet closing as Scelzi continues to close on the back of the pack with thick lap traffic just a half a straightaway ahead of him.
Jacob Allen now into the top 10. He came out of the B main and has made his way by by Carson Macedo and Sheldon Haudenschild. Now Jacob Allen's by Rico Abreu down the front straightaway. Jacob Allen is up to the 9th position in the 1A.
Jacob Allen absolutely rolling in the Pels Tire Service 1A. He and Rico Abreu battling hard. Both of those guys came from deep in the pack. Allen from 21st to 9th. Abreu from 20th to 10th.
Brad Sweet now gets by David Gravel. Nearly gets into the side of Kyle Larson off of turn number 2. Sweet almost had to use the concrete there for some traction off the 2nd corner. Now Sweet back into 4th as David Gravel makes the pass on him. Gravel looking underneath the Kyle Larson for P2 as they roll into turn 1.
Scelzi now greets the back of the pack off of turn number 4 into that proverbial dirty air that moves him around. That gives Kyle Larson a chance to maybe close in on him. Scelzi going to have to navigate lap traffic. It was 1.9 seconds last time by. Larson noticeably cutting into that advantage.
That time by Kyle Larson, half a second faster than Gio Scelzi. Scelzi cannot get by the 42 of Cy Lynch. Needs to make a move right here into turn number 3. He'll throw a slider at Cy Lynch. Not going to get there. Kyle Larson with a huge opportunity to close the gap on the 18 car.
Boy, Scelzi's got to go, and he's got to go now. Kyle Larson really cutting into that lead. Lynch goes down to the bottom of the racetrack, and now Scelzi has a little bit of breathing. Oh, Kyle Larson nearly into the wall. Gravel into second.
David Gravel takes the second spot. Larson makes a mistake off the second corner. Hop the cushion. Gravel now up to P2. Looking to get around the number 42 car of Cy Lynch. Meanwhile, Gio Scelzi makes it by another car. That's the 23 of Garrett Williamson. Donny Schatz enters the 4th position. Gets by Brad Sweet off of turn 2.
Sweet tags the wall. McFadden to 5th. He'll go by Brad Sweet for the 5th spot. Meanwhile, David Gravel having to change lines to get off the bottom of the racetrack because lap traffic circling the bottom, and that enables Kyle Larson to stay right with him. How about Logan Schuchart now? He'll pass Brad Sweet, move Logan Schuchart into 6th.
Donny shot so good off the inside of the racetrack in turn 2. Yes, and Jacob Allen makes his way by Brad Sweet. Jacob Allen started back in the 21st position, and now about to enter the top 5.
Jacob Allen absolutely rolling Chase Rodman. Brad Sweet back around him as Gio Scelzi really working through lap traffic. How about Giovanni Scelzi? He is pulling away. Chase, he's pushed his lead to over 3
wide
seconds.
off the corner right there with the lap car. Jacob Allen, Brad Sweet, James McFadden, and Cy Lynch were 4 wide off the corner right there at turn 4. Jacob Allen might be the show and the story in this race.
Oh! Scelzi into the wall like 3 times off of turn number 4. He changes lines. James McFadden,
Flat
maybe
right
a tire
rear.
going down on the 83. Yes, a tire down on the Motorsports 83.
Caution's going to come out with less than 10 laps to go in this Joker's Jackpot. But like you said, Scelzi plastered the wall coming off turn 4.
I thought he was getting sideways. He hit it hard twice. Bounced off it, came right back to it. The bad news for Gio Scelzi is his lead was at 2.862 seconds, and that's erased with 8 to go.
And Jacob Allen, that is the yellow he needed.
Mama,
the problem for him, oh wait, and here comes McFadden into the work area. The problem for Allen is it looked like the guy in front of him, Donny Schatz, was in his line. So that might be an issue for Jacob to make it farther forward here. Got a replay coming up as to what happened to Gio real quick. You'll see him making his way by Tyler Courtney here. And Gio running the outside, and right there, 1,
That
2.
wasn't as hard as I thought.
That second one was pretty hard.
It certainly grabbed my attention, Chase.
Tony, what's going on with McFadden?
Routine right rear change down here for James McFadden. They're trying to get the 83 jacked up, and the crews that were over here assisting have been called back to their mules because, as you guys correctly predicted, one more yellow, and we now see a red flag displayed on the racetrack. Drivers are parked, teams are running fuel cans to the sideline.
Well, this throws a wrench into things. Adam Clark, the crew chief for Giovanni Scelzi, that leads with 8 to go. The pressure is turned up.
And a good opportunity to check and see if there is any damage on that car.
Yeah, that's a good point. So Adam Clark, his crew chief. Cody Jacobs, the crew chief on the Todd Cring-owned Big Game Motorsports 2. Paul Silva, the crew chief for Kyle Larson. And, of course, Scuba Steve Swenson, the crew chief for Donny Schatz.
Looks like Anthony Macri. It looks like he's got a flat tire almost right here.
It does look like it's going flat. The right rear on the 39M of Anthony Macri is certainly losing air right in front of the flag stand.
Yeah, he is in a 15th position right now, but from here you can tell it's kind of folding over a little bit where it says Hoosier.
Joe Mooney, his crew chief.
Yep,
I
look at that.
haven't seen Joe come running out yet.
Look at that right there. Yeah, that's not good. So Macri is going to have to get that changed out.
I remember Paul Silva plugged a tire.
Yes.
Here at Eldora.
I remember that.
In a major race.
So when we go back to green, it's Scelzi, Gravel, Larson, Schatz, and Allen. Tony, what do you got for us?
Daryl, our wireless camera operator down here, read my mind. He came and got a great look at the right side of this KCP number 18. Last night's Group B main event winner, Giovanni Scelzi. You guys called it. He plugged the wall not once, not twice, maybe 3 times coming off turn number 4. And you can see the damage to that right rear rim as he's sitting in the lead position right now.
I mean, it's not normal, Blake, when we see a tire, it's the right front that's white-walled more than the right rear. Wow.
Man. Eldora Speedway, an absolute tip-top condition.
Yeah.
We had 4 wide there right before the yellow flew.
Twice.
We've seen it twice.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just Rob and gang have done a phenomenal job. The surface here, absolutely spectacular. You see a new right rear coming to Anthony Macri here on the front stretch. Joe Mooney, Nate Knotts and gang. Jacob Allen's car not fired. Yeah.
That's what is he not firing?
Yeah, has not fired yet.
That's who I was going to give the call to on the 21st to 5th, trying to find the big screen, and now I see it.
They're right coming to you in turn number 4
Oh, wow.
right now.
Yeah, let's go see what we can find out about that.
Wow. Wow.
Great minds think alike.
Yeah, that's just
heartbreak.
Man, oh man. 21st to 5th. And we'll find out what happened. All the tires are obviously inflated on that car, but just no spark under the hood of the Pels Tire Service number 1A car. And they're going to take the hood off.
You wonder if it's an ignition box.
Yeah, that's exactly the case, Blake. They brought a whole second box assembly down here. Remember, both Shark crews are racing this weekend. Jacob Allen's team, you got Carly Holmes also from Tanner Holmes' number 18T. That's exactly what they're doing. They're going to just swap out that entire MSD ignition box.
Man, that's heartbreak.
Man.
That's an expensive ignition box right there.
Just imagine if there was no open red there. Would have not happened there for Jacob. That's going to now promote Brad Sweet back to 5th. Logan Schuchart 6th, Justin Peck 7th, Rico Abreu 8th, and Carson Macedo up to 9th. And James McFadden, actually, that'll be Spencer Bayston up to 10th. Just a heartbreaker there for Jacob. And the same thing for Tyler Courtney earlier on in this one. Jacob will rejoin at the tail.
You look at like Tyler Courtney, who went from challenging for the lead to the work area at lap 10. Right now, he'll restart in 17th.
Jacob will restart 22nd.
Actually, 16th. Because we'll bump him up because Macri will fall behind him and then Jacob to the back. At least they're single file, so that turns it down a little bit.
We'll see what happens for the final 8 laps of this main event, the Joker's Jackpot. Gio Scelzi gets a great restart, gets away just a little bit from David Gravel. Who made the right adjustments under that open red? We're about to find out, Blake, and it looks like David Gravel is coming to life here in turn 3.
Gravel rolls the bottom. Scelzi up on the high side, coming to the start-finish line. Gravel's right there. Scelzi leads, but Gravel's a car length behind.
David Gravel, into the wall, upside down.
How did Rico avoid that?
Wow.
Unreal. Gio moving around and out of the car.
Can you believe what just happened?
Heartbreaking for Giovanni Scelzi. You can see just in his body language, you can see the disappointment.
I mean, you don't even need to hear what he's saying. You just have to look at him.
You can see it in his body language.
Man, 7 laps away from the biggest win of his career and the second in a row here at Eldora Speedway. Gets into the wall. And how many guys is that this week that we've seen get into that turn 1 wall?
Turn 1. That's the 4th?
At least the 4th.
We had one earlier tonight. Then we had Cole Macedo yesterday.
Brett Brunkenhofer yesterday.
Brunkenhofer, yep.
There was one other one, I believe.
Bill Baylog was in, but that was a different circumstance.
Schoenberg.
Yep.
And PPM with a flat right rear. He's coming to the work area.
Makes you wonder, maybe something, I don't know. I mean, they're banging on the wall.
They are, yeah.
I mean, you can look down. I mean, you and I have a good view of the exit of turn 4.
It's not like a massive
6
cushion.
inches?
You know, the cushion is not massive.
Not at all.
These guys, I would be willing to bet.
Leaning on the wall.
I'd be willing to bet every lap they touch it at least once if you're on the top. Let's see what happened. Let's see what happened to Gio. Going into turn 1, he sees Gravel's nose, I'm sure, right there coming off 4. Goes into the corner, right rear, just misjudged it. I mean, look very similar to what Schoenberg did.
One thing I think that needs to be factored in. So Gio, before that yellow, or the red there, hit the wall pretty good with that right rear.
Oh, yeah.
Might have knocked some things out of balance because he hadn't really hit the high, it speeds like they're running right there. Had not entered turn 1 at that kind of speed.
Yeah, that is a good point.
So you have to wonder if that changed things because that right rear, the way he hit it, looked a little bit out of balance. And that's exactly what our cameraman, Dean Mills, ironically, just texted me that he said that might have caused it. But he said, you can see the right rear. It looks out around.
Wow.
Which you wonder, entering turn 1 like that, that's going to cause the car to obviously respond differently than it had. And that was the first time he'd really gone into turn 1 at full speed.
Yeah, after that red flag, and we saw the damage to the right front tire as well. I mean, that thing was white-walled. Looks like we're going green next time by for the final 7 laps of the Joker's Jackpot. Behind the top 5, it's Peck, Macedo, Haudenschild, Marks, and Abreu. Who is going to hang on? We've seen mistakes all weekend long. We just saw one. Who makes the least amount as we head back to the green flag with 7 laps to go, Blake?
Kyle Larson and David Gravel. Gravel leads them back to green. Here comes Donny Schatz. Schatz shoots into the 3rd spot, pressuring Larson for 2nd. Brad Sweet into 4th. Oh, Schuchart into the wall.
We'll see if there's any issues on the number 1 S car, but he did clock the wall pretty hard right there off of turn number 2. Justin Peck will go by and take over the 5th position. Meanwhile, David Gravel, the last time by, 7/10 of a second was the race lead. Looks like Larson may have found something right there off of turn number 2. Closes back in. Gravel going to try and run the bottom to the win here tonight at the Joker's Jackpot.
Last time it was just over 7/10. Larson lost a couple tenths there. Donny Schatz right behind him. Bottom of turn number 1 a little bit rocky. Here comes Larson, keeping Gravel within striking distance, just at the tips of his fingers.
David Gravel searching around the racetrack, trying to find something, trying to find the grip to go to victory lane here tonight with Kubota Highland Racing. Runs the middle of the racetrack in 1 and 2. Kyle Larson pounding the wall for all it's worth. Down the back straightaway. May have closed in slightly that time by down the back stretch. Now Larson goes to the body. He's got a problem.
Break?
No, he's still under power. Loses a spot to Donny Schatz.
Kyle Larson shot to the bottom and appeared to be off the pace. They'll stay under power now. David Gravel, this time by a pair to go. Donny Schatz trying to close in on him, but the hourglass starting to run empty.
And David Gravel, no lap traffic to deal with here for the Big Game Motorsports number 2. Donny Schatz trying to pull off the impossible. Larson off the pace this time. He is slow. The caution is going to have to come out. Wow, what happened earlier? I was so confused.
I was too. Almost a similar thing happened there.
Yeah.
It's like the car losing power and picked it back up, and it did the same thing in turn 2 as it did down here in turn 3.
No tire
Still
issue.
under power.
Yeah. It's almost like it was like sputtering or something.
Yeah, and it's, I mean, obvious. I'm sure not running out of fuel. We just had a fuel stop a couple laps ago.
Wow. So another guy that was running inside the top 5 has a problem. We've seen Sunshine have an issue, Scelzi, Allen, now Larson. Larson just going to take the car straight back to the trailer. He knows there's only a handful of laps to go. No chance of him making his way to victory lane here tonight. Now, what happens here? You saw Gravel.
Yeah.
He was searching around right there. Ran the middle in 1 and 2. Bottom in 3 and 4. Donny's been pinned to the bottom for the last half of this race. Now, Brad Sweet up to 3rd. Justin Peck and Rico Abreu.
With 2 to go and out in the clean air, I got to think whoever is the first one off of turn 2, your Vegas odds of winning are pretty strong
good,
after this restart, because it's not much time to rope them back in.
Can't really build much momentum in 2 laps. We'll find out what happens here. 2 to go. Gravel, Schatz, Sweet. Who's going to win the Joker's Jackpot? We're about to find out. We're back underway.
Gravel eases up to the high side. Donny rolls to the middle. Donny's there. We'll see what they can do down the backstretch. 5 car lengths separate, and both of them go down to the bottom. White flag flying here at the Joker's Jackpot. 1 lap for $100 grand.
1 lap to go for David Gravel, looking for the biggest win of his career here at Eldora Speedway as he works around the outside of the racetrack in 1 and 2. Down the back straightaway. Brad Sweet and Donny Schatz nowhere close enough. Through 3 and off of 4. David Gravel is going to hit the jackpot tonight at Eldora Speedway. Donny Schatz 2nd, Brad Sweet 3rd, 4th goes to Justin Peck, and 5th goes to Rico Abreu.
Jacob Allen nearly back into the top 10 with an 11th place run. Rico from 20th to 5th. Wow, a race full of storylines.
Oh man, so many. James McFadden finishes up in the 10th position. Carson Macedo in 9th. 8th to Sheldon Haudenschild. 7th to Logan Schuchart. 6th to Brent Marks. 5th to Rico Abreu from 20th. Justin Peck 4th. Brad Sweet 3rd. Donny Schatz 2nd. And the biggest win. Hang on. We got the scales here.
He's above the weight of 14. Okay. It just didn't go green because I saw the weight at 1,500.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
good spot there.
David Gravel, your winner tonight of the Joker's Jackpot with a little bit of a scary moment there. Eldora Speedway, the biggest win of his career at Eldora. Makes some noise for David Gravel. $100,000. He hits the jackpot in Rossburg, Ohio here tonight. With Levi up there on top of the wing with him. Very excited. David Gravel going to victory lane here tonight with Kubota Highlander Racing. He'll make his way around the front of the race car and get a word with Tony Laporta.
He went 7th to 4th in last night's Group B feature. Tonight he goes 4th to 1st. Ladies and gentlemen, say hello to your winner. It's David Gravel! All right, David, that was a treacherous feeling kind of race. Take me to those last couple laps, running down Giovanni Scelzi, and then he has his issue. What goes through your mind?
Yeah, man, you just don't know, right? Sunshine was pretty fast, and he got that flat, and, you know, Kyle and Gio were pounding the top, and I didn't really have to rely on it, and, you know, they were faster at some stretches, and Gio was running a torrid pace, and it was kind of like when we were here earlier in the year. The leader was running the top, and I just kind of ran a lane down and was able to keep the tires underneath me, and I don't know if something broke or Gio just got in the fence, but get the lead with 7 to go or 8 to go. Cody said keep running the line I was, and man, it was tricky. I was getting free. I didn't know if I should turn down and use that grip off the bottom. I saw Jacob really get up to the front there till he had something wrong with him, so it's like, man, I probably had to exit low, but I was just going to keep my speed up and have a good enough run to run the bottom of 3 and 4. And got to thank Cody, Steven, and Zach gave me a great race car. And got to thank everybody, Houston Speedway, Billion Automotive, Jackson Motorplex, High Performance Lubricants, JRC Transportation, Berryman Suspensions, Butler Built Seats. Who else we got? We got a lot of people here helping. And, yeah, just what an awesome year. And taking some of that high limit money, that's pretty nice.
You talked about Tyler Courtney having his issue with the flat tire. Giovanni Scelzi gets upside down while leading. From your seat, behind your steering wheel, did this feel like a survival of the fittest kind of race tonight, or it just go out there and get it done as fast as you can kind of race?
Yeah, 40 laps at Eldora. A lot happens and a lot can happen, and seems like for whatever reason there's always tire dramas here for whatever reason, and just happy to be on the right side of it and finally win a big race here. I've won a decent amount of races here, but always a prelim night. So to get a big one like this feels really, really good.
You spin me on to my final question. 10 wins this season already with the World of Outlaws. You've won big races before. Where does tonight, where does $100,000 at Eldora fall on your list of big victories?
It's hard to say, right? This is a first-time event, Joker's Jackpot, so hopefully this event is here to stay, and I was the first one to win that, so that's really cool, and it's definitely a top 5 for sure. We want that King's Royal really bad, but this is a good start to the week.
$100,000 richer is the driver of the number 2 for Houston Speedway. It's your winner, David Gravel! David Gravel stands tall in Whiskey Myers victory lane here tonight at Eldora Speedway.
Tony, check out the trophy, a cool little touch. Instead of dollar signs where the jackpot hit, they've got the number 2 in David Gravel's number.
Yeah, that's definitely a very cool addition to the trophy. Heard about that before we got going here tonight. Second place, we talked to this driver last night after the exact same result in the Group A main event. Donny Schatz does a little bit more work, coming from 5th to 2nd here tonight. Donny, tell me about the pace of that race.
It's pretty good at there. I mean, the pace was up there, definitely. We weren't. I mean, at the beginning, I was kind of hanging, but that's you'll have that. You know, if you want to be good at the end, I just could never get going like I did last night. So, obviously, just a little bit different racetrack, and maybe we missed it a little bit. But all in all, you know, we're working on being consistent. If you're consistent, you'll win races. But when 100,000's on the line, you do what you got to do, and we couldn't get there. He was a little better than us, so just have to take it.
A big $100,000 race tonight. You guys have 2 more really big nights getting ready for the King's Royal on Saturday evening. What can you use from tonight to be ready for Saturday evening?
Well, we got to take everything from every time we're on the racetrack. I mean, we were fairly similar to we were last night, and you could feel little things that open red there. We made a little bit of a change and helped it a little bit, but just wasn't enough. You know, I got to go back and look and see what the pace was, what the lap times were. I think it felt like we were a little bit faster right there at the end of the race than probably we were last night. So some of that might have just been due to track prep prior to the event. So we'll see. We'll just keep digging. I guess consistency is good, but winning races is ultimately important.
A second at the Double Down Duels last night, and a second-place run after coming from 5th here this evening at the inaugural Joker's Jackpot with Kubota High Limit Racing. Brad Sweet debriefs with the crew chief on that number 15 for Donny Schatz Scuba, Steve Swenson. That's probably a conversation a lot of people would like to be privy to. What can you talk about with your competition after a third-place run and battling them tonight?
Oh, he was just asking about lap count and just making sure that we were all on the same page. I don't know. I think it was we were just wondering why the fuel stop where was it was. We put big tanks on and we saved fuel, and we had plenty, so we were just wondering. No big deal. But Napa car we struggled a little bit. There was points in the race where I thought I was pretty good, just not good enough to move around as good as David and Donny. So they were able to get us kind of in the middle of the race when we were struggling. I kind of was committed to the wall just because I couldn't really run down off the cushion. Just would get up and spinning. So, they did a good job. It was a fun race. It was tricky up there by the fence. I love coming to this place. I love Eldora. It's if your car's not right, there's nowhere to hide. So you're really always working as a driver to find the lines, and it changes. So it was really fun racing with David and Donny. I haven't got to race with them as much this year. So obviously they kicked our butts tonight and took our money, but. We're happy to be on the podium, and we got 2 more nights to try to redeem ourselves.
Now, you say you weren't really able to go where you wanted to, but a couple times I looked down into turn 1, and you were taking big shots down to the bottom, sliding all the way up, nearly getting into guys. Was that purely out of just trying to make something happen, or were you able to tweak your car a little bit? What were those moves coming from?
Yeah, when you get a run, and then, the way my car was, I had to try to keep my speed up, and always trying to keep pushing the left rear down. So always trying to keep speed. I just couldn't slow down like I needed to and exit the bottom, or, be able to run the middle like David and Donny there. So, we got much better after the red, so we did learn some stuff. But like I said, just we're happy with the podium with our Napa car. There's still 2 big nights. So we learned some stuff tonight, and the racetrack's just awesome. You can't ask for a better racetrack. Up against the fence, there's a middle groove, there's a bottom groove, and these guys have been good all year, and we got to step up our game if we want to beat them on tomorrow and Saturday night.
6th to 3rd here tonight for the big cat, Brad Sweet. He'll head over to take his photos on the podium. Donny Schatz gets the job done in 2nd here tonight, and David Gravel wins a survival of the fittest, but also a survival of the fattest, to cash a check for $100,000 here with Kubota High Limit Racing at the inaugural Joker's Jackpot.